So when I'm speaking about this being a one aspect of what you are that expresses as light, it's not the typical image that we might have of colored lights or, the sunlight or the starlight that's very visually luminous. However, there is a kind of luminosity to this simple seeing because it's very clear and bright in its attentiveness, in its being present, in its capacity to observe or even just bear witness, which is a little more connected with the body and a feeling tone, to bear witness to our life, to the ups, to the downs, to the joys, to the pains and sorrows. And this light of attention is, this essential light of attention is expressive of our eternal nature. It's that sense of what we are that's always and ever present. And you may even recognize, oh, this that's seeing my life, this that's here for this moment has been here with me throughout all the moments of my life. Sometimes it's observed my state going more into isolation or separation or just more of a unconscious, habitual, dreamy kind of repetitive repeating of given patterns. And then sometimes it's been more bright and more like you shake off those layers and you feel, more clear. And so it may not necessarily be as noticed in times where we're more sleepy or more unconscious or more dreamy or more caught in our restricted perspectives. But if you continue to look closely, you may recognize, oh, this simple seeing was present even then. It knew that I was withdrawing, or it knew that I was checking out and not being so present, or, going into a more dreamy or habituated or perhaps triggered state. And like I said, this is, part of what it is to be human. There's this gamut of becoming overly identified with form, not because we decide to, hey, I think I'll be overly identified with form, but it just kind of happens. It pulls us in to its concerns and its defense mechanisms or its assertions. And then there's also these times where we might repattern ourselves to become more familiar with these backward steps and to get a sense of remembrance of what we are that's free of that entrenchment or going on overdrive with our attachment to identification with form. So the kind of light I'm speaking of, I just want to speak about it a little bit longer to give you a feel. It's that kind of feeling like I'm on, like the house is not vacant, it's occupied. This body-mind house, you feel like there's a sense of occupancy. And in that case, there's this kind of filling out of your own sense of being present and attentive. And so when you're housed in your person, it's more as though the lights are on. And you may notice with people who are more checked out that it feels more and more like the lights are turning off in the house. And so there's a kind of brightness that's like turning up the volume on your sense of being present. And that's something that we often particularly do when we're, let's say, excited about meeting someone for the first time. We come forward more in ourselves and we're connecting with them. And there's that sense of being really present and attentive, or learning something new that we love and are enjoying, or perhaps in meditation, there's that commitment. Okay, when I sit on my cushion, a big part of that activity is bringing all of myself to be present to the moment. And so there's a kind of stepping in to that activity, and what in Zen they call taking your seat. It's a very deliberate, intentional thing. It's a kind of form or forum in which you bring forward a sense of occupancy. And so there's that sense of brightness in terms of presence and aware attention. And so that's just a tremendously powerful thing.